What's up, y'all? Today I'm gonna teach you how to do the tantrum to blind. Before we get this video started, I just wanted to say this video is sponsored by Centurion Boats and Hyperlight Wakeboards. The tricks you're going to want to already know how to do before attempting the tantrum to blind are basically just a tantrum and also a heel side wake to wake, backside 180. I do have both of these trick tutorials on my channel already. So if y'all feel like checking that out, head on over to my channel and feel free to look at it, and it should help a lot. I do make all sorts of wakeboarding tutorials on both the boat and the cable, and just wakeboarding content every second day forever. So if you guys feel like subscribing, feel free to do that. That'll definitely help me out a lot. Also, feel free to give me a thumbs up on this video. That'll help me out as well. The approach you're going to want to take on this trick is pretty similar to a tantrum, because all you're doing is adding a backside 180. Just make sure you get about 3/4 of the way out away from the wake. That's a nice distance for this trick. Make sure you pause out there for a second and do a nice progressive medium-ish edge back in towards the wakes. Now that you're on edge back in towards the wakes, you're going to want to carry that edge all the way up till just the bottom of the wake. This is where you're going to want to sort of square up and get ready for that tripping motion, just like the tantrum. So you're actually going to square up last second off the very top of the wake. You're going to push and sort of let that wake trip you straight backwards. You're going to look straight back to get that tantrum initiated. If you don't understand what I mean by squaring up and sort of tripping off the wake to get the flip initiated, make sure you go check out the tantrum tutorial. I do explain it a little bit more in depth over there. Now that you've initiated that tantrum motion and got your flip started and really have your momentum going, make sure you treat this exactly like a tantrum from the beginning. Don't try and do a backside 180 too early. This could kind of throw you sort of weird. Honestly, just start that tantrum and wait until you're about 3/4 of the way around through that flip and to spot your landing before you even start to do that backside 180 rotation. Now that you're coming down from your tantrum about 3/4 of the way through the flip, you will be capable of spotting your landing early, since this is sort of a backflip style trick. So you'll be able to spot that landing nice and early, and as soon as you're capable of spotting it, that's when you can take this handle and start ripping it towards your lower back and really start initiating that backside 180 as late as you possibly can. The later, the better. It'll make this trick a little bit more consistent. I know it will be scary because there is a chance of catching a back edge. Most of the time you usually slip on your butt though. But yeah, after you've spotted your landing, make sure you rip that handle to your lower back nice and late. Pull it all the way over. Get it nice and tight against your lower back. Make sure your chest is over your toes. Bend your knees on impact. You'll be able to spot your landing right here and just ride away from the wake, edging, switch toe side. One suggestion I do have with this trick is basically really trying to land as high up on the wake as possible, so you have as much of the down landing to land on as possible. I know that this is pretty hard to predict, but if you do practice a lot of tantrums and a lot of backside 180s and really try and figure out how hard you need to edge to land perfectly in that spot, that will really help with this trick. And also, whenever you do land higher up on the wake, there'll be a lot less tension on that rope to unwind you, so it'll be a little bit easier to land. The most common mistake I see with people doing the tantrum to blind is them actually landing and slipping out on their butt. Usually this is because they try and do the backside 180 too early and they're not actually getting on top of their board. They're just ending up behind their heels and they end up slipping out. So if you do wait a little bit longer for that backside 180, it'll help you get more over your toes. Also, something else that does help me a bit is I try and over flip a little bit. It'll really help get my chest over my toes. It'll keep me from slipping out on my butt. One last suggestion that I do have, and this will just help with landing blind in general, is basically just maybe shortening your rope a bit and doing like small backside 180s wake to wake. But I want you to sort of do them where you rotate early or rotate really late or rotate medium straight through the middle of the trick, and try and land as many different weird weird ways as possible and get really uncomfortable in trying to recover landing blind, riding slow and short so the impact isn't that bad. But if you're able to recover landing blind, even in the weirdest situations, it'll really help with consistency and landing tricks like a Tantrum blind or a chromo or a Pete Rose or things like that, where you end up landing blind after a pretty difficult trick. I'm just gonna give you a quick little summary of the entire trick. Make sure you get about 3/4 of the way out away from the wake. That should be a pretty good distance. Make sure you pause out there for a second and start a nice progressive edge back in towards the wakes. This will be sort of a medium-ish, maybe even a tiny bit harder than medium-ish edge in towards the wakes. Make sure just last second you flatten off, square your shoulders up to the wake and drop that rear hand. Do a nice tantrum tripping motion off the wake to get that tantrum initiated. Once you're about 3/4 of the way through the tantrum, you can sort of spot your landing, and this is when you can take that handle and pull it to your lower back for that late backside 180 rotation. Make sure you get your chest over your toes. You can sort of spot your landing right there. Bend your knees on impact and edge away from the wake. Switch toe side. That's how you do the Tantrum blind. If you guys like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Comment below what kind of tricks you guys want to learn in the future, or even what kind of problems you're having with this trick or any other trick at all. I'll try and get back to you and help you out with it as much as I possibly can. If you are really struggling with a trick, make sure you just send me a DM on Instagram. I'll try and get back to you as fast as I can. I do have tons of messages coming in right now, but I will try and help you out as much as possible. I will be out here making wakeboarding content every second day forever, so make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.